Hey everybody, welcome back to the Cosmic Panel. Today we are talking about Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. I am very excited to talk about this film. We're both very excited for this for many reasons.
Yeah,
Lucas and I both saw this today, day after Christmas.
we it's
Um,
it's official, guys. We're watching only indie films now on this channel. We're not going to be reviewing any more Marvel or DC.
yeah, I wish.
Only.
Before we get into the video, though, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below what you guys thought of the movie if you've seen it, or if you haven't, if you're excited to see it. And follow us on Instagram at the Cosmic Panel. We have a lot of cool stuff brewing on there right now, including comic sales. So if you guys are looking for some cool books, we are intaking lots of collections right now and going to be hopefully having some live claim sales very soon. So stay tuned for those. Hit us up on Instagram. All right, let's jump into
Damn, bro! Like Aaron Taylor Johnson do be getting that paycheck though.
it.
Man
Dude, it's
said, "How can
fucking
I?"
Craven. This 28 days later,
Man
probably
said yes
more.
to every single job offer that he got.
Well, I think it's just it's the release
It's,
timing is just really funny.
it's just so
And that
funny.
always happens. But I really liked his performance. I thought Aaron was good.
Oh yeah, no, he was phenomenal.
He's a native Brit, so he just had to focus on the language and that kind of stuff. But yeah, for me, the I would say the really highlights for me are people's performances, the lighting,
Yeah,
and the music slash sound design.
yeah.
Those are
I
the
think
top three things for me.
the shot compositions are crazy in this film, honestly. There's some like great scenes where you're like fading into black or you're zooming in on specific things and then cutting, and it does such a great like difference where you're like, whoa, that's like sudden.
Yeah, and
um
also, I mean, just the color grading.
yeah, the color grading's phenomenal. The only
Yeah.
thing I really have a complaint about this film is I think the pacing's off.
Really?
I really didn't. I think the pacing's off, and then also I think in the beginning, specifically the first hour, and this might be by design, but in my personal opinion, I think that it is a little bit too erratic. The changes between like the past flashbacks and the present flashbacks, and like the dreams versus the waking. And I get that might be like an actual like artistic choice, but at times it felt a little bit too chaotic to the point where I was
Hmm.
having difficulty following along until he left the castle.
Okay. Okay.
Once he left the castle, I think the plot gets like really well into it. I think the
Sure.
dream scenes are like used smartly, where like they wake up at the end, and then we like, okay, that's the realization.
Mm.
But it felt like in the beginning hour, I couldn't tell if the characters were like waking up the next day, if that was like a real thing.
Okay.
Like the beginning thing in the beginning where with Lily Rose Depp, where she was
Oh, Ellen, yeah.
yeah, with Nosferatu. Um and I couldn't tell if that was just a dream or not in the beginning, because it was like the way she was describing it, like when she was talking about her dream to him, it was like, okay, did that actually happen, or were you just thinking about that? Is that a flashback, or was that your actual dream itself? Like I was a little bit
Gotcha.
confused during parts like that, and then in the
Okay.
castle.
The pacing I didn't have an issue with. I thought they really kept things moving. So that's interesting to me. The understanding of plot beats and stuff. I can understand that though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a little bit all over. It locked in that second half. Great, like that was when it like they really locked in all the dream sequences. They really locked in like everything, in my opinion. And all the character acting was phenomenal. The shot compositions were amazing. Everything bled into each other really well.
Yeah.
But that first hour for me was just a little bit too chaotic.
Oh
Just
sure.
and I get that it was kind of supposed to, but as the viewer, I needed a little bit more.
I love the castle though. The
The
castle
castle
and,
was
and
sick.
also the fucking the carriage pulling up to him, like
Oh yeah.
from that point to the castle, I was like, oh, this is fire. This is so
Oh
cool.
no, that's true. Yeah, the
I mean, it's
like
just because
very little.
visually, like the atmosphere, it was so good.
I can imagine the he
Those
closed his eyes,
locations.
and the carriage actually Akira slide
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happens.
So that it had the door open and everything. No, that was also, how the fuck did he manage that, my guy? What? Like his abilities affecting people. How the fuck did you do that?
Either he controlled the horses or it's completely hallucinatory and he just
But
walked
the
there
door
by
was
himself.
open. So like the horse opened the door.
So it has to be all hallucination then.
The horse just takes off its gloves like Adventure Time and just like opens the door.
He had to yeah. He had to have just walked the whole way, I would assume. I mean, he was in bad shape, you know.
That the look of the Count was really good. I was worried about Bill Skarsgård being him just because I'm kind of like, it's like, oh, I've seen him as Pennywise, I've seen him as different characters. Like at this point, it was like, oh man, I don't think he's gonna really surprise me. The
I
look
couldn't
really
couldn't
works.
recognize him. I mean,
Yeah,
like
literally, I could not. His
honestly,
voice too. Like
the voice really threw me. I'm not sure if that's unaltered or if there's any pitch
that's
effects
fully
or
him. He was apparently doing it. I literally watched a video before this on TikTok where it was like a video of him doing it live in front of everyone, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
okay, okay,
But yeah,
yeah,
no, there's so many great behind the scene videos now. Like there was Willem Dafoe being
okay.
like, "I love animals, but when you're dealing with 1,000 rats, it can get pretty wild."
Yeah, I can't believe they had to train 1,000 rats. It's crazy.
I can't believe they actually had that guy bite off a pigeon's head in real
Yeah,
time.
but yeah, overall, the movie felt like very, classic, very kind of, old time
Very
film, and
Shakespearean.
it's yeah, very Shakespearean in its language for sure. Um, I could have used subtitles in some
Yeah,
moments just because of the language, and some of the phrases not being, so recognizable. Um, that was one other kind of critique I had, but obviously the um, the subtitles for the other languages and stuff like that were really, well done and well placed.
I kind of like how we don't get that much lore about the actual Count.
Yeah, I think it has pros and cons. I think for me, the con is only that his sole motivation becomes Ellen, and I just feel like it needs
Yeah,
to be a little more than that.
from what
But
I
I
understand,
do
that's
think it,
how the
yeah,
original
exactly,
ends.
yeah. So it's just, from my understanding, is based on original, and they didn't update it much. But for me, I could have used a little bit more motive
Yeah,
from him, um, to make his presence a little more grand. Because for me, like revealing him very quickly, also to Thomas, took a little bit of the mystery out of it for me, at least in the castle scenes.
really, I really liked the scene where he's sitting down for lunch with him. I really liked that scene. That scene was really
No, the scene
interesting.
itself is really well done. I just feel like he could have been in full shadow the whole time. Like I didn't need to see his face.
Mm,
That was my only thing. Because like I like the hand, but for me, like when you have one monster for a film, I think take a minute to reveal. That's just me, though. That's my personal preference.
I was trying to think what else. Oh, Willem Dafoe is amazing
Willem Dafoe is
as
fantastic. I
usual.
mean, Eggers knows how to write for him. I'm sure at this point. Um, just yeah, he's
I
the
love how he
best.
doesn't even try to convince her. It's like, yeah, no, you got to distract him.
Yeah,
You got to
he's like,
distract him. He's gonna be coming after you.
you
He's
got to
horny
do
as
it.
fuck.
Yeah, just kill him. Yeah, he was good. Nicholas Holt was fantastic.
Oh yeah,
He's in a lot of stuff. He's also someone who's in a lot of
yeah.
stuff right now.
He's about to make
He's
some big. This had to be
he's
before he
busy.
bulked up for Lex, though.
Well, I was very surprised when he sat up in that nun scene, because
Mm.
he was like flexing every fucking muscle
Oh yeah,
um
true.
when he sat up. That I was like, oh damn.
Well, he said he got
Shit.
really ripped for Lex. Like he
Yeah.
got really jacked apparently for Lex because he wanted to take from like All Star Superman Lex,
Hmm.
where he's like trying to reach the pinnacle of humanity,
Right.
quote unquote.
But I thought that was funny because yeah, I mean obviously because of the hair, I would assume it's before they started shooting for that.
She
But
that or a
um
wig.
Yeah, but yeah, he was great.
Lily
And
Rose
then I don't
definitely
know.
killed it.
Yeah, I was not expecting a lot. I went into it, not expecting a lot out of her. So
Yeah,
I would say, yeah, definitely defeated my expectations.
the amount of shit that she can do with her body, like the fucking rolling the eyes and shit like that, and like so like really great. Like if this was fucking like if she was in The Exorcist, she would have fucking killed it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
the body stuff was really good. The contortions and all that I thought were very good. Um, some of her stuff I didn't like love. Some of her like emotional moments I didn't love. But yeah, I think her physical performance was amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like there's some backstory that we needed, like a good chunk of backstory about like how the fuck did she hear about Count Orlok? Like how did she call? How did Count Orlok know about her? Like I just wanted to know a little bit more about that, and like
sure,
did that result in her family dying? Like what happened with the rest of her family? Like we see that she's in a huge house, and I assume that must be her family house. So like what the fuck happened to that? If they're living in like poverty or like
sure.
not enough money. It's just interesting to think about that and be like, well, okay, I wanted a little bit more of that.
Yeah, she was good. And then I don't know the actress's name, but she was Cassandra in Deadpool versus
Oh, Emma
Wolverine.
Corrin.
Emma Corrin. Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought she
Emma
was
Corrin.
good as well.
I didn't even
Um,
recognize her as Cassandra. That's funny.
it took me a minute. It took me a minute.
I
The
literally did not
eyebrows
until
are.
you just pointed that out. I was like, oh wait, yeah, that
Oh
is
yeah,
her.
yeah,
She
yeah.
she
She was Emma's
actually yeah,
friend.
she looks so different with hair.
Yeah, it was really funny. But the amount of Marvel actors in this is really funny.
The Beast,
Green
the amount of
Goblin,
X Men actors specifically.
yeah, Beast, Green Goblin, Cassandra, uh, Craven.
I was about to say, come on. Yeah, I was surprised that Willem Dafoe's character wasn't actually what's his name?
Yeah, I don't know if they were like using original names
What's it?
from Van
Helsing.
Helsing.
Helsing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was really surprised he wasn't Van Helsing. That was like I was really expecting that name drop.
yeah,
I will also preface the most I know about Nosferatu. I know vague lore just from like osmosis, but also the SpongeBob episode.
hmm
Nosferatu. Like
yeah.
literally, how the fuck did they get away with that reference? That's wild to
I
me.
don't know.
But
Well, it
um,
probably was royalty free at the time or something because it's such an
that
old
too. But it's
movie.
just so funny that they even like were like, yeah, let's throw in the man eating
Oh, it's
vampire that like
hilarious.
looks
Yeah.
insane,
hmm
and let's have him be like a literal throwaway gag as
hmm
like an explanation for the plot.
Yeah. But yeah, yeah. I've seen the original, silent film.
Hmm.
Um, but
Oh,
I
it's a
never
silent
read.
film.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's old. It's really
Oh
old.
damn.
But never saw or read the book rather. So for me, this was drawing, and also I think it said it at the credits. It said,
Yeah, based off the
based
script.
on Dracula and Nosferatu. So I think that they pulled some stuff from Dracula. Like I didn't think Nosferatu had a Renfield figure. I thought that was a Dracula thing specifically.
Yeah, wait. Was his name Renfield?
I said a Renfield figure,
Oh yeah, yeah,
like a
yeah.
you know a
No, no, I know who
servant
you're talking about.
like that who
The banker.
ate animals, and you know what I mean. Like that was very much like
This
that vibe, right? That kind of character.
the sets were crazy.
Yeah, the locations. What
Like
were
I
these
really want to know where
locations?
they were shot because that's wild.
Gotta be. I mean, a castle like that's gotta be fucking like just Europe, right? Like
That's
straight
got to
up.
be either they rented out a castle or it's got to be they built it like at least like a 2 story like location, quote unquote.
I mean,
Because like there
like
wasn't
rooms
that
I can
many.
see, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Well, I was thinking like 2 stories and like 3 rooms on the bottom, and then like maybe two like the dining room up top. Like something
gotcha.
that looks big on the inside, but is like actually more compact on the outside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because like I mean, if you use like styrofoam bricks and then I mean you like make them look good, I mean they can look indistinguishable from real stone. I was gonna say also, in the interview that I saw, he was talking about like the design for Count Orlok, and he was saying he was trying to base it off of like what people, when they were actually still believing in vampires, what they described vampires look like, which they considered it more like mutilated corpses. Hence his horrific look.
Yeah. The mustache really threw me off. I was not expecting the fucking mustache.
When he died at the end, it was just his fucking bones over her. I was like, oh, bro.
Yeah, that was crazy. You know, they had to. I guess they had to do that because they did the full body makeup. They're like, all right, we just gotta make his legs, I guess. And I didn't love the use of like nudity and sex in this.
Yeah,
It was like, at least for like the women, like frontal nudity, it just felt like very forced in moments.
yeah, I felt over like. Yeah, I know. I 100% agree. I think like if you're gonna do it, just do it equally all around. It
Well,
felt like,
I think most films you won't even see like a man's penis, like it,
yeah.
so I know it was prosthetic or whatever, but the fact that we even got that is unusual, because usually it'll just be women
The
but not men.
the only moment where I felt like it was like necessary is like when Dracula was. I mean, not Dracula. When Count Orlok was literally going to bite the heart to
Yeah,
like suck on the blood, like that makes sense to me.
sure, sure,
Also,
yeah,
what a interest! I like never thought of that. Like, yeah, like if they bite near your heart, then that would make the most sense for like blood flow, I guess.
yeah,
They could go
theoretically.
for that or the neck, obviously, but heart is an interesting choice. I never even thought of that.
Well, it was interesting how like he.
The sound design on that was
Oh yeah,
crazy,
right.
bro. I was like, it was just like the blood sucking
Yeah, it was
in, and I was
terrible.
like, oh man,
It was
oh.
terrible.
Fuck that, bro. Fuck that. Talk
Yeah.
about like worse. And then it's just like you're not dying during that. You're not dying. It's like, oh, bro, just kill me at that point,
Yeah, no, it was very interesting to me that he just continued to leech off of like Thomas and like who he
bro. Bro
decided
was good.
who he killed and who he killed and who he didn't, kill. And also how in this, universe people don't get turned. Um
Yeah, that was
People just
interesting.
die, I guess. It's different
I really thought
take.
Thomas would turn. And then they had the whole
Yeah.
like church thing, and I was like, okay, maybe they're gonna say like, oh, you have only like 3 days before you fully turn or something, and then they didn't. They were just like, you need to get better. It's like that
Yeah.
was not what I was expecting you to say.
I wasn't expecting his character to make it to the end of the film.
In the silent film, does he transform people or no?
No, no.
So maybe that's just like the thing of like his character specifically can't transform. Also,
Yeah,
do
I
we
just
get an
thought it was
explanation
interesting.
for why Nosferatu? Is that like the type of vampire he is?
Oh, that name?
Yeah.
I think that's just the name that they give him in like that book, like in their
Oh, in the
in
book.
their folklore and that kind of thing. But it's not clear to me whether or not it's a demon that can travel from person to person. Because I think
Hmm.
that's why Count Orlok and Nosferatu are two separate names, if that makes sense. But that's just my
Hmm.
understanding. It's like this is a dark, at least how they portrayed it in this film. I feel like they portrayed it as like a force, like a dark force, um, versus just him, like Count Orlok himself. But yeah, I mean, really, what I was expecting going to this movie was incredible atmosphere, incredible cinematography, and I think it delivered on that, no doubt.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, the fact that there was so many uh, fire and candle light
Oh yeah.
moments. It's just like raging fires too. To light entire rooms was fucking nuts. Um,
Please,
so cool.
HBO and all you different companies, learn how to light your scenes for fuck's sake, because I
Yeah,
can't see
really.
any of these fucking streaming service shows. Y'all made it too dark because of Game of Thrones, bro. Please learn
So
lighting,
dark. So dark.
bro.
So
My
yeah,
brightness is at 100. Please.
if Robert can do this shit with a fucking candle, there's no
Y'all got
reason.
no excuse.
No fucking excuse. You want to give our ratings?
Yeah, you go first.
I'm gonna give this film 3.5 pigeons out of 5.
And I'm gonna give this 3.5 dead Count Orlok corpses over a dead woman's body out of 5.
I swear it gets longer for you every time.
No, but I'm glad that you and me are on the same page with the rating. I thought you would rate it a 4 or something. I think it's good. I don't think it's as good as Lighthouse, to be honest.
Oh no. Well, I
Lighthouse is
mean,
just
but that's
like,
completely original. Like it's just
yeah,
it's such a
different vibe.
different effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think he didn't want to add too much to this, and we kind of see the faults as a result.
yeah,
Um, but I think it's again super strong atmosphere, super strong cinematography. Like the film
definitely deserves a rewatch.
composition itself is, yeah, definitely. But yeah, the plot itself didn't wasn't at the top of the list out of its
Yeah,
qualities, if that makes sense.
yeah. And when I come for a horror movie, I know that people say don't come to a horror movie for plot, but like when it's like something like Nosferatu, Frankenstein, when it's like a classic character, I personally prefer like a little bit more like substance to it, just because
Yeah,
it's like if you're gonna do a Frankenstein film, like I need it to be a good hard hitting film about like the horrors of reincarnation. If you're going to do a Nosferatu film, I want it to be about the horror of that character and how it affects like modern day, or not modern day, but people at the time. Like I
that's
would have loved
the
to see more of the citizens reacting to the plague and everything. Like
yeah.
we don't really leave outside the main character's point of view, which is good at times. But I would have liked to see like people being like, yeah, I lost my husband the other day or something like that. Just like the plague. Like it would have been interesting to see like
Yeah.
Europe kind of go like, oh fuck, Germany, stay the fuck away from.
But that's yeah, it's exactly what you're saying is what separates, the classic horror films from the modern day horror films, because now it's just a killer or something, and it's just, the movie is just this kill, next kill, that kill, this kill, versus where Universal Monsters I felt was always, you know, and old horror movies
Tragic.
in general were always about the plot and always about some deeper subtext. There's something else, going on there. It's scary without needing to be gory. You know what I mean? Like it's just unnerving. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. We have been the Cosmic Panel. Don't forget
I
to
think
like,
you mean the
subscribe, all
cinema
that stuff
panel.
we said at the beginning. That's right. We're the Cinema Panel now.
Yeah,
And until next time, uh, don't follow your dreams because they might lead
to Aaron Taylor Johnson.